What is up, everybody? J Nell here with my UFC Fight Night in Lincoln, Nebraska recap video. I hope you saw it. So yeah, I was wrong on the dates here. I put my prediction video for this out like 2 weeks ago, thinking it was last week. 15-second predictions came out last week and everything. I was gonna repost it, but I didn't. Either way, I was really early on this one as opposed to my normal late self. Anyway, there were 6 fights on the card, and I got 4 out of 6. So we are back. I rebounded from the last pay-per-view there. Let's get into it. And this was a good card. I told you they weren't big names, but they were good matchups, and that we would see some good fights here, some exciting fights, and I definitely think they delivered. So again, I hope you watched it. Now, first up, I got this pick. I chose Eric Anders to beat Tim Williams, and he did. This was I'll say unanimous decision, but it wasn't. It was just a late finish. It came in the 3rd round. First round went to Tim Williams. I believe he got his offense off first. I believe he landed something significant first. He was able to take him down, kind of hold him there. So I believe the first round went to Tim Williams, even though it wasn't dominant. They were going back and forth, filling each other out and all of that. The 2nd and 3rd rounds went to Eric Anders. He just picked up the pace in his corner after that first round. They're like, we need you to be more offensive, higher volume. He talked about how much he learned from the Machida fight there. So they were like, we need a higher offensive output from you, and that's exactly what he did in the 2nd and 3rd round, and it worked. He made his opportunities. He busted Tim open. Tim wasn't able to get the takedowns as much either. He was throwing some kicks there, some head kicks. Like I said, he had Tim kind of bloody there. Tim still had landed his shots. Momentum still was going back and forth. The 2nd and 3rd rounds were, I believe, going to Eric Anders, and even at the end of the 3rd round where we saw the finish, so he knocks Tim Williams down as Tim Williams is getting back up. He's on both of his feet. He still has one hand that's kind of like on the ground, but Nebraska has adopted the new rules, so one hand doesn't matter. And as he's getting up, he was sloppy in his getting up, and Eric Anders kicked him in the face, knocked him all the way out. Sleep. You got to be more careful when you're getting up. You can't just get up. You gotta get up with a hand or something. He kicked him flush in the face as he was getting up. Okay, bow. Good fight. Great win for Eric Anders. Who would you like to see him fight next? I believe they're middleweights. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, next up, I did not get this pick. I was nervous about this pick, and the moment the fight started, I knew I was going to lose this pick. I chose John Moraga to beat Davison Figueiredo. I'm working on it, baby. He's still undefeated, and I think he might be one to watch. The moment this fight started, he just seemed to have more energy. He just seemed, even though Moraga was taller than him, he still seemed, he had a bigger presence than Moraga. He was able to impose his will quite quickly, take him down. Moraga went for a heel hook, and there was kind of a dual heel hooks. He used it to get up out and get the better position. So it wasn't a dominant first round for Davison, but he definitely won. He had John going backwards a lot on his heels on the defensive that entire first round. He just really jumped on. That 2nd round, more of the same. Got on top, was doing some ground and pound. John Moraga was able to get up. He landed first it was a headshot, knocked him down. Moraga got back up again, and then it was a body shot. Dropped Moraga, got on top. Ground and pound, not that much of it. Ref got right up in there. Great stoppage from the ref. Great win for Davison Figueiredo. And I think I got to watch a little bit more footage. I'm going to do some research. Yeah. You might be one to watch. And he has some personality, Brazilian. Can we get a translator who speaks better English than the person they're translating for, please? Because his coach or whatever, I swear, knows less English than him. He could have done a better job himself. It was horrible, hilarious. He's got a lot of personality that shines through his the second language sort of situation. So work on that. I think we might have something that I'm going to look up on Mr. Davison. Now, next up, I got this pick. I chose Courtney Casey to beat Angela Hill, and she did. It was the 3-round split decision. And I'm kind of on the fence, too. This might have been a draw. This could have gone, I don't know. This was a close fight. I think if you look on the stats, Courtney had a higher stat output. The same thing from Angela Hill. I think I figured out what it is about her that I don't like. I think what is a killer instinct, right? It's taking advantage and seeing your opportunities when they present themselves and taking advantage, making those opportunities. There was a couple of times in this fight where Angela landed some nice hard shots that interrupted Courtney's movement, knocked her back on her heels, especially in the 3rd round, which I think she won. I think she won the 3rd round. I give Courtney Casey the first 2. Close fight all the way. But in that 3rd round, there was a couple of times, one moment though, where she landed a 2-piece, clock. It knocked Courtney Casey back, and I thought she was going to continue to move forward and put the pressure on her. Not necessarily blow the load and empty the gas tank, but start to turn the pressure on. You affected her. Get that momentum, continue it. And she didn't. She clocked, knocked Courtney back, and then she backed up. There was a few times in this fight where I saw that happen. I'm like, wait a minute, you just affected her. Why are you backing up now and giving her space instead of crowding her more, making her more, disrupting her more? So I think she lacks the ability to recognize an opportunity and take advantage of that. So maybe work on that. Either way, Courtney Casey got the win. And who would you like to see her fight next? It's a nice division, that strawweight division, highly skilled. Now, next up, are we on the 1, 2, 3? There's a lot of fights. I'm trying to make sure I got them all. Oh, I skipped one. That's what it was. I skipped the fight that I got. I chose Bryan Barberena to beat the hometown boy in Jake Ellenberger. He's from actually Omaha, Nebraska, and he did. He beat hometown boy, came with a huge crowd. They erupted for Jake Ellenberger. Going back and forth, as they normally do. Jake looked sharp. He looked tight. He looked like he was reacting well. Got clocked. Got clocked by, actually got clocked with a nice shot. Then he was able to get back up, and then he got clocked by kind of a short left that you really kind of didn't see because the angle on the camera and stuff was kind of bad, but it knocked him on his back. Bryan Barberena jumped on top. He eventually gave up his back, ground and pound, ref stoppage, good stoppage, great win for Bryan Barberena, and it was Jake Ellenberger's last fight. He left his gloves in the middle of the octagon. Jake Ellenberger, I believe it said 35 fights, like 25 for the UFC. He's actually always been kind of a fan favorite, always put on a good show. So thank you, Jake Ellenberger. Thank you for what you've given us, and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Now, but I got that pick. Now we're on the co-main event. I got this pick as well. Split decision controversy. Even I'm like, I watched it fight twice. I think I have to watch it again. I got the pick of Michael Johnson to beat Andre Fili. Andre jumped on him. I think that first round kind of went to him. I think he caught Michael slipping. I think Michael probably landed cleaner shots. I need to look at the stats on this one, but the momentum was going back and forth every time. In the second round, no, excuse me, not the first round to Andre, the second round to Andre, where he actually really threatened with that choke. He got it standing where it wasn't really on, but the moment he actually got Michael to the ground, not only did he have his back fully, he had the legs in the right position, and he had the arm under the chin for a minute there. He was significantly threatening to end that fight with that choke. That was probably the closest finish we saw. Again, this fight, momentum went back and forth. You let me know how you feel. Andre thinks he should get a rematch. I wouldn't have been mad if this fight was called a draw. So again, another close fight that I eked out, split decision in favor of Michael Johnson, his first win in the featherweight division. Who would you like to see him fight next? He said no rematch for Andre. Now, next up, main event, and I did not get this pick, and I don't really care because of, wow, I picked James Vick to beat Justin Gaethje. He did not. All that trash he was talking, I felt like he would come in with a little bit more chutzpah, a little bit more of a game plan. He didn't really seem unsure when he came in there. So the fight starts. This ended in the first round. Fight starts. They're going back and forth. Kinda. It's really more Justin Gaethje going forward, pressing the pace. I felt like James should have got that long jab out there from the very beginning. He should jab from the very beginning, make Justin think about coming forward. But he, again, kind of hesitant. He was backpedaling a lot. He left a little space between him and the fence, so he let Justin pressure him early on, and Justin kind of made his opportunity. You know how he does? He just kind of sticks his hands out there, his face is out there, and makes it happen, and that's what he did. He landed a two-piece. The first one was slight. The second one, I believe, was an overhand right that knocked James Vick all the way out. Sleep. As he looked like kind of like the old Popeyes olive oil. The arm flailed when he knocked. It was like, I don't mean to laugh, but it was a spectacular knockdown. It just looked funny. His arm, okay. So, and on the ground there was another one for good measure that he didn't even need. James was out before he hit the ground. He was out cold before he hit the ground. So, great, spectacular win in the first round for Justin Gaethje. Now he's back already. He's a fan favorite. His personality is a fan favorite, even though Justin, he said, you know what, people criticize him for not having defense and his way of fighting. He's like, I don't like taking punches backing up. I don't take punches backing up. I see the punches coming. I take them on the chin. And I'm like, okay, so you don't want to take punches backing up. That's fine. But can you move your head? Can you raise an arm? Can you tuck the chin? You can still defend yourself while moving forward. I get that you don't want to back up. I get that, but you can still. You don't have to just hit me and knock me and see if you can knock me out before I knock you out. That's basically the way he fights. And not only is that gonna make his record just spotty, he's gonna have win-loss. It's gonna make it hard for him to get the title shot, and it's gonna shorten his career, and it's gonna shorten his lifespan. Okay? So let's think beyond fighting a little bit, Justin. All right? You can put a hand up. You can defend yourself. You're a fan favorite, and as many fights we can get, the more fights we can get from you, the better, because we like you. So let's see, elongate your career by employing some defense, please. Please, Justin, please. Okay, let me know how you did on your picks and the injury updates, how you felt about the split decision with Casey and Hill, also the split decision with Johnson and Feely. Who do you think should be next for Justin Gaethje? He wants to fight someone ahead of him. But the consensus is kind of like Kevin Lee, Barbosa, but Kevin Lee, really, you let me know what you guys think. And again, if you haven't watched it, great event, go back and watch it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I will have 15-second recaps. I'm on Snapchat now. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.